and I salute them for their good sense. You know, this company here is both the history and the future of our state. It's the old line manufacturing combined with the R&D that will take us and propel us to the 21st century economy. But even with all these positive developments, Michigan's comeback won't happen on its own. Our problems are too big, and the hole is too deep. Simply put, our state needs transformational change. We need to reinvent Michigan, and neither government nor the private sector can do it alone. Whether we're in business or government, management or labor, we cannot move our economy forward and create the jobs of the future without new thinking that challenge the old ways of doing business. This is an area where Democrats and Republicans can find common ground. The challenges are too great and the stakes are too high to fall back into the old political arguments while nothing gets done. Fortunately, many of the steps we need to take are ones we can all agree on. And in fact, in many cases, we already have. 18 months ago, we passed a law requiring our public utilities to generate a significant percentage of their power from renewable sources like solar and wind and biofuels. Michigan has an abundance of these green resources. By requiring that they supply a growing portion of our power, we will create thousands of good-paying, clean energy jobs. Second, Democrats and Republicans support Michigan's research and development tax incentive policies to help our businesses create new products, and most importantly, the jobs they will bring with them. By continuing to focus on these policies, we will help develop, grow, and diversify our state's economy. Third, we can make sure that Michigan's workers who've lost their jobs are prepared for the new jobs of the future. That's why we established Michigan's No Worker Left Behind job training program, which provides grants for workers pursuing the skills they need to compete in the 21st century. Already, this program has helped 25,000 Michigan workers find or keep a good job. We should expand this successful effort to meet the job requirements for the future. Fourth, we established Michigan's Promise Scholarship Program, which provided up to $4,000 in college scholarships for Michigan students. But that program is now unfunded. At a time when jobs follow brainpower, it must be restored. Fifth, while we invest in today's workers and students, we must also invest in the workforce of tomorrow. And that's why I'll work to fund pre-kindergarten education for Michigan children in danger of falling behind. And I will work with my good friends Bert Johnson and Tim Melton that last year passed reforms to improve our K-12 system. Now, these plans are going to cost money, and candidates need to say how they're going to pay for their proposals. For too long in Michigan, we've taxed and spent without being held accountable. Those days are over. It's time for a new approach. For example, we can save tax dollars by forming a public-private partnership around our state purchasing system and negotiating discounts on our current contracts, much like our domestic automakers have already done. Rather than hiring more state employees, we ought to look to the private sector to help us manage this process. Saving even 5% would mean hundreds of millions of dollars to reduce the deficit or support our schools. I would also pursue the plan I've introduced to consolidate health coverage for public employees. This could save up to $1 billion that can be invested in our schools to prepare for the workers of tomorrow. These and other changes to streamline government won't be accomplished if we're afraid to challenge the status quo in Lansing. They'll require both Democrats and Republicans to stray from their comfort zones. I'm confident that I can lead this transition, but I can't do it without your support and your commitment and your trust. These unique times require strong leadership, and not just from politicians, but from citizens as well. We all have to face the fact that the old ways aren't working. For example, I disagree with those who say we can cut our way to prosperity. We can't. And I say that as someone who led the fight to cut over $1 billion from last year's budget. Those cuts will not fix our ailing economy. We must continue to make investments to prepare Michigan to compete for the jobs of tomorrow. But I also disagree with those who think we can tax our way to prosperity. We can't. Michigan's hardworking families and those who'd like to be working can only pay so much. They deserve to see government embracing the same belt tightening they've had to do at home. We're going to have to make a lot of tough decisions to get our economy back on track, and many powerful interests in Lansing will fight those changes with everything they've got. I'll buck anyone who stands in the way of our future, but I'm going to need your help and your support. I'm proud of the fights I've taken on as Speaker. I fought to end tax breaks for companies that ship our jobs overseas and to shift those benefits to companies that invest right here in Michigan and create jobs here in Michigan. I have fought to preserve and protect our state's unmatched quality of life by banning the importation of Canadian trash and by prohibiting people from selling off the groundwater that belongs to all of us. I led the fight to crack down on predatory lending that costs Michigan families their homes, and I worked to require that Michigan utilities help consumers become more energy efficient. But most of all, I've been willing to take on business as usual in Lansing and to push for better ethics and higher standards from those invested with the public's trust. To me, these are not partisan fights. They are fights for a better, stronger state. I have often worked with Republicans to achieve our goals, and I've been willing to take on my own party and a Democratic governor when I thought they were wrong. In building a brighter future for our state and more opportunity for our people, all residents of Michigan are in this together. We don't have the luxury for partisan gridlock when our future is at stake. So as we begin this campaign to restore jobs across Michigan, I thank you for your friendship and your confidence and your support. I am under no illusion that this battle will be easy, but the stakes are too high for us not to win. And I hope and pray that years from now, when my children and your children are able to pursue their dreams in this beautiful state, we will look back and say that this is where it began. This is the day we started working together to restore Michigan's promise. This is the time and place that Michigan dared to start dreaming again. Thank you very much.